Okay, let's see if this thing is actually gonna work. I haven't done this in a while, sorry. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day today. It's been a little bit, but we're back. Welcome back to the channel. You guys probably clicked on this video because you were like, hey, I like some Madden 23 sliders, please. And I have delivered. I have come out with some gameplay sliders for you guys. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Really quick before we get back into the video, if you guys have not subscribed yet, please do make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. We are trying to grow our community to 300 subscribers, so you hitting that subscribe button would be awesome, and to get you more in the loop. But anyway, let's get back to the video. As you can see, I have a team right now that's an 89 overall, 91 defense, 91 offense, 88 defense. And what we're going to do, obviously, this is one of my franchises. It is the, 2023, so it's going into a year from when Madden 23 came out. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go two options as we usually do. Hopefully the camera's working today. I am like a whole new setup, so like bear with me, guys. You know, we got the whole background going on here. But we're going to go into franchise mode. We're going to go into league settings first of all. I just kind of want to show you guys what I'm rocking with, what's been working well so far. So you can honestly do this on All-Pro or All-Madden. It doesn't really matter. All-Madden obviously is a bit harder. It's a little bit more cheesy to get stuff that's not as realistic. And then simulation. Now, the one thing about simulation is this is supposed to be the most authentic experience. Overall, it is. What I would actually do, though, if you guys want, I would try competitive, see what you think about it. I've just noticed that with my sliders, guys don't fumble as much. But if players do fumbling a little bit too much, then just keep it on simulation. Insta starter, that's honestly up to you. It pretty much just determines whether you want, like, if you were a player in a franchise, if you want to start right away or not. Trade deadline, I have it on. It's like week 9. You go to week 9, trade players, and after week 9, you can't do it anymore. Trade types, just enable all of them. Coach firing, because I am a head coach, I have on. Obviously, it's your guys' preference. Salary cap, up to you. And if you guys have any questions about any of these like sliders and stuff, please don't please feel free to let me know. I'm always willing to answer questions. Relocation, that's up to you guys. If you guys want me to do a relocation video, please let me know. I'm honestly up to do it. I'm just gonna say if we get like we'll start off with like 3 likes on this video. We'll go ahead and get that in. Now, what I do have for the staff talent, depending on how you play, I recommend if you're doing a relocation or like a rebuild type of situation, I would probably honestly have it on slow or slower. Since I'm doing it like game by game where I'm playing every game, I have it on slowest just because that's the easiest for me. It creates a lot of challenge, but the progression system is actually really good for it. Injuries, I do have on. Pre-existing injuries, you should have an option to turn it on or off. Up to you guys on what you want to do. Practice squad ceiling, I actually have this off. So the practice squad is like you can sign players in free agency, put them on the practice squad. Personally, me, I have a hard time kind of managing my practice squad like every single like week, because players do get signed once they hit 70 overall. So I just kind of was like, you know what, let me just go and turn it off. That's that way I can progress players without losing them, and I don't have to constantly be checking the practice squad. Career clock, I would recommend having on. It's just like 4 scenarios. It only works with head coach, not your owner. No, the progression fatigue, or I guess progressive fatigue, definitely have on. That way players will get tired and you're actually going to have to sub out. It also does apply to practice. Practice injury, that's up to you. Personally, I have them on. The play clock cooldown. So I did do a video, I think Madden 21 or Madden 22 for my sliders. Somebody did say that the cooldown, it works for the offense, but it doesn't work for the defense, because like obviously the defense could just call the same play over and over and over again. The cooldown, I think, is a little bit more realistic, just because that way you're not able to cheese the game, but that's just kind of my handicap. You guys, obviously, you could do a cooldown of like 3, 2, or 1, or just none. Personally, I like 3. Prospect to storylines, these are scenarios that you get through your head coach. Is honestly really good. Now, the full on-field control, I have that on. You don't have to. But then, okay, so this is when we get into a little bit more of the important information. So the minimum roster size, typically, from what I've learned from Madden 22 and Madden 23, 51 seems to be a pretty good spot. It's not 53, man, and if you drop a couple players, it's not going to hurt you. The in-season player movement limit, I have it unlimited. The player overall cut, it is not restricted. If you do have a lot of players in the franchise, I would probably make it around the 90 overall range, 90 or 95. And then the off-season player cuts. Typically I like to do like 4 a week, but just since it's just me in this league, I have it at nothing. Again, I did not touch, actually I did touch some of this, so I did move up the X factors to like +5. It was at 50, it's now at 55 X factors. I just found that like most players in the NFL, there deserves to be more players with X factors, and so I just kind of wanted to represent that a little bit more, so I moved it up 5. I might move it up even more if you guys want, because 5 seems like a decent number, but I feel like if you push it up to 60, you'll be okay. Desired superstar, I moved that up to 80. I feel like we need a little bit more superstars in the game. Same with star dev, so pretty much if you upgrade the X factors, superstar and star players, boost them up. Quarter length, this is up to you. Typically I do 7 or 6. For this league I'm doing 8. It seems to be working pretty well statistically. And then for all of this stuff, this is obviously all up to you guys. For me, I like having complete control of my team, so I do manual. If you were to do auto on some of these, that just means like, so you wouldn't be able to cut players, the computer would do that for you, or same with injury management, which I honestly don't see that much in Madden. And then manage practice reps. This is going to be on auto when you first start. Make sure this is on manual, or else all of your players are going to get fatigued. The pop-up tutorials, I just turn them off. Auto progressive, turn that off. Fill the roster, turn that off, and same with the auto progress. I turn all of that off because I just don't like the computer having control of my team. What we're gonna go ahead and do here, obviously we got through all of this, we're gonna go ahead and move to the actual like gameplay sliders now. Okay, so once you're at franchise settings, you're gonna go ahead and go to the gameplay sliders. You're gonna go ahead and click on that. And sorry guys about the camera, I don't know if it's going dark or bright. It's probably just the light outside that's messing with my camera. But here we have the CPU skill, player skill. It's all the same from the past couple years. With the QB accuracy, I left it at 50. The pass blocking has been terrible in Madden 23, so I moved it up to 57. It seems like it works really well. For most of my franchise so far, I've had it at like 55. I boosted up a couple more just because it seems like there are also just periodically you'll have some blocks that aren't like that should be made that just aren't. Wide receiver catching, I boosted up to 51. I just felt like that was a good number. Run blocking's at 50. Fumbles are at 75 just because players do not fumble in this game. So I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, please correct me if I am wrong, but fumbles, if you boost them up, that causes more fumbles. So 75, I know it seems high, but you do not fumble a lot. But like, you don't fumble a lot, but you still fumble. It's realistic. That's how I like it. The pass defense reaction time is at 45. I knocked that down just because pass defenses in this game, they were acting a bit weird, so knocking them down a little bit seems to be doing really well. Interceptions, I knocked down to 25 for the player. Seems to be doing really well for me. Pass coverage we have at 45. 45 for pass coverage, not terrible. It seems like it's like the players, like your defensive players still cover, but they don't cover all the time. So even if you wanted to move it up to like 48 or 47, I'd say you'd be fine. Personally, I have mine at 45 starting off with. Tackling I boosted up because the AI originally was struggling with tackling, so 55. QB skill, so we have 40 for the QB accuracy. Quarterbacks are extremely accurate in this game. It's always been like that with Madden. Boosting it down to 40. They're still going to make passes, but it also creates the difference between good players and great players. Pass blocking, I would really turn this down for the CPU. They block an insane amount. I put mine down to 23. It's been helping. I do get sacks now. I might even take it down a couple more notches, but I have to keep playing. Wide receiver catching, I do have at 47 just because the receiver seems to be catching a lot of things. So boosting it down like 3 seems like a pretty good spot because they don't typically, like they'll catch, but not everything. Run blocking I have at 48. Offensive line, same thing as passing game, it's just really overpowered. Fumbles I have at 75. I honestly might take it up a couple notches for the CPU. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure. I think 75 might be a pretty good spot. The pass defense reaction time though, 45 seems to be a pretty good spot. Interceptions I have at 16. The CPU especially, you have to really watch out just because they do intercept everything if you keep it at the default sliders. So taking it down to 16, I know it's really low. I did start off with 12, but it seemed like they weren't picking off nearly as much as they should have, so I boosted it up to 16, so that way they'll pick the ball if you make a bad decision, but they're not going to pick everything off. So like crucial moments in games, hopefully the CPU will intercept the ball if you make a mistake. Pass coverage AI, 42, I felt like that one was a pretty good spot. The tackling at 48, not bad. Now, the next ones that I would say definitely for kicking power, I'd probably put this up to around 60. Right now, I have mine at 48. It doesn't seem to be terrible, but I do notice that their kicking power isn't as good as it should be. It's not as realistic, so I'm going to have to revisit like the kicking power. Kicking accuracy is fine. Punting accuracy is fine. The punting power, though, you might want to take up. And then also the kickoff power, maybe just put it up like, what, 5 notches. Injuries I do have at 16. I do have 70 for fatigue. That way you do get substitutions between players, between your starting wide receivers and your backups. That way you kind of get a cycle going. And then the mini player speed threshold. So this is the ratio between the wide receiver and the cornerback speed. What I would decide to do and like how fast the game goes, I put mine at 48. It seems to be working out. But if you guys want to do a little bit more faster, you could obviously take it up. I would try to leave it at 48 though. It seems to be doing pretty well. And then penalties. Penalties are a big part of Madden this year. Offside I have at 75. False starts I have at 75. Holding I put down to 45 just because holding calls just seem to be happening like almost like 4 to 5 times a game for me. So putting it down to 45. You'll get a couple holds per game, but it's nothing bad. Face mask at 55, I just don't seem to see those too often. And then defensive pass interference, I put it to 70. You guys don't need to. I would honestly probably stick around like the 65 to 68 range. And then over here, I believe I left roughing the kicker on, running into the kicker on, and then illegal contact on. I will say running into the kicker, you could probably turn that off. And then also intentional grounding. If you guys want to turn that off, it wouldn't be a bad idea. That way, what ends up happening when you turn that off is that the AI is going to go ahead and try to force passes more down the field, which is what they kind of need to do still. It was the same with Madden 22, Madden 23. It's kind of the same. But yeah, so these are all of my Madden 23 gameplay sliders. I hope you guys did enjoy them. Please do comment if you have any like feedback on these sliders, how they're doing for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you do like this video, please do hit the thumbs up button. Our goal is 3 likes this video. I know this is the first video back, but with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.